Less than 2 weeks until Mario Maker 2 comes out. These past few weeks in June, and even the past few months, have gone by pretty fast, but this final stretch, for me at least, seems to be going by really slow. I'm pretty much just waiting until the game comes out, as I have a ton of level ideas and want to start testing stuff with the new items. A lot of you guys have been sharing your ideas for levels with me in Discord and here in the YouTube comments. The idea train alone is a hype one, and today I have a short video to help strengthen and reinforce those ideas and designs that you guys have. I'm not the greatest level designer out there, but I respect and have learned a lot from the design practices from the best out there. And I hope to implement these ideas into my own levels, whether it be Mario Maker or ROM hacking itself, or I hope that these ideas help you in some way. This video will cover 3 short tips to reinforce good level design and hopefully help you conceptually. This can be taken into 2 ways: level structure itself and gameplay inputs. When it comes to level structure and difficulty, it should be relatively consistent, I think. Like, you don't want to have an easy section that's brainless and then have 12 midair shell jumps. Like, that's a really extreme example, but you probably get the point. Consistency is good, and it relates to the theming of your level, which I've talked about in the past, but consistent difficulty should also be a pretty important point. Like, if you have a hard level, for the most part, it should be hard. If it's an easy one, then it should stay pretty easy. You don't want to have big jumps in difficulty. I find that when something starts one way and then becomes the other, the level not only loses its identity, but becomes kind of awkward for the player. That all said, mix-ups can be used effectively and in a really beneficial way when it comes to difficulty. The strongest example in my mind is in the Celeste chapter 7, where there's a bunch of difficult sections near the summit of the mountain, and then the final part, like right before the summit, is super easy. Like, it's just a few jumps over spikes after you do all this crazy, pretty much Kaizo shit. That climax might be hard to recreate in a one level in Mario Maker, but a significantly easier ending to a hard level can create a feeling of satisfaction and ease after maybe your 12 mid-airs or something. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a hard level and then right before the goalpost you have a slight easy section to kind of mix up the flow. But what I mainly mean by mix-ups are variations on your style and your gameplay. You may have heard of neutraling your controller, which is pressing no buttons, and for me this is what I mean by a strong mix-up. A lot of the times when you're bouncing on enemies, it requires that you jump off of them and bounce off of them to reach the next enemy, but sometimes forcing the player to hit nothing on their controller to get a smaller bounce and just go off, or for example, hold right instead of holding up, for you know what I mean? You can mix up your inputs and the tempo of the level. Mario Maker 2 brings in a ton of new mix-ups with Rising Water. You can have a level go between land and water, kind of like in Tropical Freeze, and this will change the speed in which you play between fast and slow. Like, you can have a fast section on land and swim slowly through water, and it changes the tempo, mixes it up. And you can also go from horizontal to vertical with the new vertical subworlds. As long as the central theme is explored, but varied upon and made interesting using these new mechanics, I find that these are the coolest and most fun levels to play. Now, Mario Maker at its core is a Mario game, and Mario games, while popular and gold mines for Nintendo, aren't the objectively best platformers out there for their simplicity and easiness. I believe this is why Mario Maker and Kaizo, or even slightly hard ROM hacks, are as popular as they are, because the Mario engine and gameplay has infinite potential, just isn't used adequately in mainline games because of Nintendo's predominantly young demographic. Most Mario levels use one gimmick, such as these slip rust enemies, or the star platforms in this level, which is a solid example because it's like the only mechanic in the level. A lot of what I think to be god tier platformers use more than one gimmick in their levels and have these features intertwined to become level attributes of their own. Drawing on Celeste and Tropical Freeze, you can often find that levels intertwine 2 or even 3 gimmicks together to create unique situations. Mario Maker is amazing for this because you have a ton of Mario enemies and gizmos at your disposal, and the ability to create new combinations and gimmicks is pretty much endless for you. Instead of just using horizontal thwomps to make a level, you could use horizontal thwomps, on-off switches, and the propeller suit for your central theme to make something really crazy. Never just use one gimmick for your theme, or it might seem too bland. With all the styles and available enemies and whatnot, you're going to want to hop around and do a bunch of different things. I know I definitely do. I have like 6 different ideas for levels I want to make, all about different things, and I don't even know which level is going to be my first level. Like, I want to use Mario 3, but I also love Mario World, and I pretty much have to try out 3D World because of all the unique stuff to it. But yeah, re-exploring old ideas and making similar levels to what you've made in the past allows for further development and expansion on your level gameplay. So if you do make a level with horizontal thwomps, on-off switches in the propeller chute, and you think you take it to the max with creativity the first time, and then if you work on other things, and you come back to that old idea, I'd guarantee that you use the same core ideas and make the level harder and more interesting, and maybe even better. I've been obsessing over Celeste lately, and its B-sides are a wonderful example of what I mean here. A lot of games reuse old ideas and gimmicks and do evolve them over the course of the game, but I think Celeste is so good because of how it does it explicitly. Each chapter has a significantly harder version of itself called a B-side, and it doesn't introduce anything new to the player. It just takes the normal level and makes it even crazier, even cooler, and even more satisfying to complete. Revisiting your levels, taking their concepts and exploring them again can be a fantastic thing to do for a follow-up level if you run out of new ideas. So that's it, guys. I've been Morton's Castle, and I'm just waiting for the 28th. I don't know if there will be any other discussion-related videos about the game until it comes out, but after it does come out, there definitely will be, because I really want to test stuff in the editor and show you guys some crazy cool contraptions and whatnot. However, I will be working on my hack, making videos on level creation there. I'm in the process of starting on the overworld, which is really tedious but kind of cool, and I'm considering getting some of you guys to playtest some levels in the hack soon. So stay tuned and expect some Let's Plays and variety stuff until Mario Maker 2, but when it is out, we're going full steam ahead on gizmo testing, level creation, and playing your stuff here on the channel. So I can't wait. See you around.